We want to keep adding more functions and more capabilities. And this is pretty simple stuff that we're trying to do. So functions, Python has those built-in functions like type, string, bool, float. There's another built-in function. And that built-in function is called print. And so print, we'll stay what we've been doing, account balance, right? Same account balance. We'll have that equal to 1500 as we've been doing before. And we're going to change it to a string. So now we're going to have account balance string. And we're going to have that equal to string of account balance. Right, so we'll get those two variables built in here, right? So run this one. There's our account balance, and now we're going to run the string. And there's my 6 characters in the string, right? Now we can just put in print, and then what we want to print. And we can run that. Right? And it's going to print out what our account balance string is right down here. Right? Now you notice this is different than if I had put in account balance string. Right? Because what would happen there is it would give you an output of what the account balance string is with the little quotation marks around it. When I print it, I'm going to run this line again. When I print it, it's just telling me it's 1500. It's printing it out without the quotation marks around it. So if I wanted to add more to my print, I could say, okay, let's print parentheses and then put in quotation marks. Your account balance is, and then I can put a space, leave the quotation marks, and then add account balance string, right? And I can run that line. And it's going to say your account balance is 1500. Now, if I had put in the same print statement, but for the original account balance, the one that's a float, so let's type that in, print, quotation marks, your account balance is, and then plus account balance, like that, we should see potentially some kind of error. Let's see what happens. And that's what we see, right? So you can't put different types of things in here. Oh, and I probably have the parentheses in the wrong place. That needs to be here, even if I have it over here. All right, we'll run this again. It's likely going to give me the same kind of, it's not going to concatenate. Here I've got the problem with, I've got the first one, I have the parentheses in the wrong place. Here I've got, it's telling me you cannot concatenate a string. You can only concatenate strings. You can't concatenate or put together a string and a float, right? It has to be all a string. So you cannot mix strings with floating variables or integers. Okay? Right? Because when you run the line above, right, when you run that line you'll get that error because you're using the plus sign. All right, because you're using a plus sign. That is a concatenation. So when you run, and that was line 20 there, when you run line 20 above, you get an error because you are using the plus sign to do it, right? To fix this, if I wanted to still do this, to fix this, you can use something like this. All right, so let's try this. So let's print your account balance is, all right, and then we're going to add, and then we'll do string account balance, right? So that should do it. All right, let's try that, because now I'm putting a string with another string. Let's do that. Perfect. Or we could also try something like this, right? Instead of using the plus sign, let's print your account balance is, right? And then comma account balance. And let's see if that works. That also works, right? So it's when you have this plus in here, you have to have it be a string, versus we're printing out this and we're printing out account balance, right? So as long but it's separated by a comma, and it works the same way. And let's see, if I wanted to get rid of an extra space, I don't know if that will do it. Let's see if that makes a difference. Nope, get about the same thing. I don't think getting rid of the space in front would do anything different either. No, it gives you the same spacing. So it's just going to be that extra space in there. You can obviously do a little bit more with spacing when you have it this way, the line 29. So that's just giving us an idea about how we go through the process of using that print function. So, if you're going to use this plus sign, make sure that everything's a string. Otherwise, you can print out anything in here, and it can be mixed strings, account balance, but you just want to separate it by a comma.